Treehousers and everyone else out there watching and hanging out with us today. My name's Megan. I'm a teacher here at Treehouse, and this is probably our last live stream for the home automation app, just as a heads up. Um, but hi, how's everyone doing? I hope you're doing great. I know for me, I'm like freezing. I have this little like plug-in space heater, and it died. And it snowed this week for me here. It's all melted already, unfortunately. I like the snow. I like when it feels like it makes the cold worth it. If it's just cold and dreary, I feel like that is kind of bad. It kind of sucks. But if it's snowy and cold, I feel like at least you have snow. That's my opinion. But so we got snow this week, but now we are at just dreariness, and it's cold and wet. But that's what I've got going on. So if you see me kind of like get a little shiver, it's just because I'm cold. I think I need to add another pair of socks on. But our home automation app, we've been working on it in these live streams for quite a while now. I can't remember when we started. Like June? May? I don't know. Time doesn't exist anymore. But I feel like it was sometime around then. And then this month, we opened up the project for Hacktoberfest, which is still going on. So if you haven't contributed yet and you want to, or if you need, you have like 4, and I think they ask for 5 in order to like get the t-shirt and recognition and stuff like that. So if you have a couple left and you're looking for some Hacktoberfest issues to contribute to, we still have some here on the home automation app. So I'm going to show y'all the wonderful work that people have done to the app so far, and I'm going to show you what's left. And then I'm also going to show you how to create a branch, and then, oops, accidentally pushed a button. There we go. My bad. I pushed a button on my keyboard. I'm also going to show you how to create a branch, which is a great way for your own projects, for your own repos to do work and create updates and things like that, and test on a separate branch so that your master branch stays the way it is. And then if you mess up, it's over here on a different branch so that it doesn't affect your live code, which is typically kind of how you work in a production environment. If you have a live website, you don't want to be going in it and changing things and then end up, creating a bug when you're creating, a new feature to your live website. You kind of want to do that on a different branch on its own so that you can test it, get everything working really well, and then you push that to your main repo. You create a pull request just like we showed last time, and then that code piece is live. So I'm going to show you that process because as a part of Hacktoberfest, if you are still looking to contribute, and I know a lot of the issues probably getting close to here to the end are probably maybe more difficult issues. Maybe a lot of the easy ones are gone. I haven't gone out to check, but that's the case that I've seen in years previous. So if you're kind of in that boat, you can contribute to your own repos. You do need to have this Hacktoberfest tag on your repo and some other Hacktoberfest tags. So make sure and check the Hacktoberfest website to make sure that you have your tags in the correct places so it counts. But the process that I'll show you will work so that you can add to your own repos if you need, that one last pull request so that you can get your Hacktoberfest recognition. And for anyone, you know what, I'll just pull up the website because I know I'm talking about it. Hacktoberfest. So it is hacktoberfest.digitalocean.com. When I zoom in, it doesn't make this any bigger. But it is still here. Oh, I like the shirt this year. I've been so busy this month. I didn't get to participate myself, and I'm super bummed. Especially because I really like that shirt. But you can click Start Hacking, and it'll let you know what to do, and it'll link to your GitHub account, and everything that you need to know is on here. And also, I discussed it in our previous live stream. So I had caffeine today, so if I'm talking super fast, just let me know. The wonderful Karen is in chat with y'all, so she'll see it and she'll let me know to slow it down. I'll try to be conscious of it, but on the days where I have caffeine, I tend to just run a mile a minute with my mouth. And for anyone that was curious, there is some new things behind me, and let's see if I can gently turn this without my light falling off. The rest of the stuff. So, as part of being remote in today's world right now, in order to shoot new content, I got to test out a new at-home recording setup. So we have a light, and then this is a bigger ring light, and then that is the camera with a teleprompter attached to it. So if you're wondering what all that is, that's what it looks like. It's taking up part of my office, and I have cords everywhere. So if any of you know of some really great YouTube cord management, send it my way, because boy, do I need it. I've got cords all over this office. And I'm not so much the person that like needs to be perfect, but it is a little bit where it's like driving me nuts. So if you know a great YouTube channel or videos on cord management, you can send it to me on Twitter at, I think it's Amendola Megan. I would love to see it. But let's get into it. So we're going to look at the issues that have closed. So this is what people have contributed to so far. So someone, created, and hopefully I say everyone's usernames right. I'm going to call you out by your username. So if I say it wrong, my apologies. Sometimes, usernames are a little bit hard to get how they're supposed to be pronounced out. But found a typo in the README and did a pull request on that and created that issue. So that one got done. Whoops, wrong direction. This was Captain Titanium, worked on animations and interactions. There's still options to do some additional animations and interactions if you would like. So if that's something that piques your interest, I'll show you what Captain Titanium did here in a second, and then you can add to it, take it from there. We have the ability now to delete items from the database on the back end. The front end still needs to be worked on so that we can connect them, and that functionality will work. This one we had Benji, right? Making sure. Yep, Benji worked on iSort, Flake, and Black, which are some enhancements. I have been doing all sorts of like recording and screencasting the past like week, and so my mouth is so tired of speaking. But we're gonna get through it. So that's an enhancement. And enhancement. Say that 5 times fast. And that helps make sure that your commits look great and match up with the project. And then we had containerizing the app into Docker, which Docker is a way to, an alternative way to run the project. And Benji was kind enough to add some information in the README on how that works. You do have to install Docker on your machine, and there's directions here on how to do that. And then you run the file. You run the project with Docker instead of the way that I've been showing, and it allows you to run the project a little bit easier, a little less setup than the way that we've been doing it before. So thank you, Benji, and really nice work. So let's take a look at what the app looks like right now. So the big change on the front end here was the animations and interactions by Captain Titanium. So I'm going to give a refresh. It's an initial fade in of all the elements on the screen. So you have to it only lasts a few seconds. It's just a nice, gentle animation to have everything enter onto the screen. So I'm going to do a little refresh, and I'll do it a couple times in case you miss it. Ta-da! So the Wednesday, October 28th kind of comes down from the top of the screen and fades in, and the rest of the content just kind of fades up nicely. So I'll do it one more time in case you... Ta-da! So it's just kind of a nice, gentle, like, welcoming to the app that it loads up in that way. I like doing that with websites and with different pages sometimes, depends on what it is, because it just feels a little bit more relaxing to have it like fade in than having all the information like pop into the screen at once. Just feels a little more relaxing to me. That's the way it comes across. So, um, and hi, thank you for watching the stream for the first time. I see your question with this repository. This repository we've been working on since May or June. And right now I'm going to go through the issues that are still open if anyone would like to tackle them for Hacktoberfest, which ends at the end of the month. But they'll also be open. You don't, like, if you're like, oh, this week's so busy, they'll still be there. You have plenty of time to pop in and try to work on them if you would like. So you don't have to do it by the end of the month. The issues will still be there, but you can tackle them when you want. But if you want the Hacktoberfest credit, you do have to do it by the end of the month. So let's look at what's still open. So we had, I'm going to say Lynn HVO. That's what I'm going to say for that username. Lynn HVO. So Lynn decided to add some themes to the app. That was an issue that she, or an enhancement that she came up with. So that's something that's out there. There is a mobile-friendly design, which is making the app mobile responsive. Right now, it's only on the desktop view. We have, this is the one I'm going to work on today as a part of showing how to branch. So all of this is the one I'll do today. We have a blank slate for list items. So that means if these lists are empty, because we have our grocery list and our to-do list, if these two lists are completely empty and this space is just emptiness, and there's just a random plus button there, you know, what would you want to put there? What would you put there so that people know this is a grocery list, this is a to-do list, and you use this button to add items to either list. So that's what usually is called a blank slate, you know, when you're missing all of the items. Kind of like if you sign into a social media account for the first time, like a brand new Instagram account. You don't follow anyone, you don't have any pictures of your own, so it's just emptiness, right? And so it tells you, hey, here's some people to follow. Hey, why don't you try taking your first picture? So that it starts to populate your new account with things to actually look at. So that's what a blank slate is. So that would be, that's an issue that's still up. And even though they are claimed by people, because it is the end of the month, feel free to pop in there and work on it. And I can switch over the assigned person for a task. Whoops. Add a scheduler is so that if this app is left running up on your screen, it will update the day of the week, and it'll update the weather and your Google Calendar events. So if this is left up running, it will need to update that information. That one's definitely a tougher issue, and it will be using Python and will be back end. If you know of a way to do it on the front end, though, go for it. I totally would support that. But that one is kind of a tough one. That's kind of like a special case because you could just refresh the page and it would refresh the information. So the next one we have is add weather items to the HTML using Flask templating. So this would be Flask plus HTML, which is for our weather section. We would need to update the icons and the information here to match what the actual weather is. So right now these are just static. They're just hard-coded into the HTML. They don't change. And right now it is definitely not sunny outside, so this doesn't match the current weather. So that would be, it's already built into the back end. You just need to update the HTML on the front side so that when it comes in and it tells you that it's cloudy, this gets changed to a cloud. When it's rainy, it gets changed to rain. This number gets updated to the correct precipitation amount. Wind speed gets updated, and the next 3 days get updated as well. So that is that one. That one is a little tricky. It would be a good challenge if you feel pretty comfortable with Flask templating. Even if you're kind of new to Flask templating, it would be a good challenge. But if you're not familiar with Flask at all, then maybe not for you. But if you want to take your challenge, if you want to take the challenge on, go for it. It's always good to challenge yourself, because then you learn what you don't know, and then you get to the point where you know. Align all checkboxes together. This is with the CSS. So our checkboxes are kind of aligned. I think it's a certain amount of padding or margin away from the word. And because all the words are different lengths, it creates this kind of wave effect, which then for the user experience, when you go through clicking each one, it's kind of annoying to have to click, around instead of going straight down a line, which would be much faster. And same thing on our other side. So that is a CSS fix that's still available. We have improve the design of the pop-up modal windows. So when you click the the plus button, it pops up this modal window. Oops, and I forgot to change the modal title here. It just says modal title. Does this one have it too? Yes, cool. That's a super easy issue if anyone wants to take that. That's just changing this out in the HTML to say to-do list and grocery list. But this design, I didn't design this. I just colored it to match the rest of the app. And I think it could use some improvements. So this one's open to interpretation, open to having some fun with the design. Feel free to change the way this box looks, change the colors. The font should stay the same just because to keep it consistent. And you can use any of the colors in our color palette. But this one's just kind of up for grabs. Kind of a fun one to do. Then we have dynamic delete and cancel buttons. So if I click on one of our items, it would need to show a delete button. So when I click on it, it should pop up a button that says delete, which you could do down below so that you could click on multiple and it wasn't like delete, click, delete, and it was on every single one. I think that would be better UX to have the ability to click on as many as you want and then have a delete button pop up so that you can remove items from your list. And then this one is another CSS fixed. So when you click on our checkboxes, it does this fun jump. So this is a little bug in the CSS where instead of showing us the checkbox inside of here, it's moving the box down here. So that's a fun little bug in the CSS. So all of those are still available. If anyone wants to jump on, feel free to tackle them. Like I said, even if they have somebody else's name attached to it, they've been up there all month, so they're kind of good to, have somebody else take a chance, take a stab at it. So yeah, that's what is that's what we got going. Is it possible to present this whole project on some simulator? I'm not quite sure what you mean by simulator. Right now, it's just being, because it's essentially a website, it's just coming across on my local machine. Um, so this could be, put on like GitHub pages or the other one I blanking. I feel like it begins with Heroku. Heroku is another one. So yeah, I mean it's a website, so that it could totally be put up on something like that. But for right now, since we're still all playing with it, this is the easier way to be able to see your changes locally. Because if I put it up on Heroku or something like that, it'd be pulling from our master branch, which means your code would not be reflected on the website because you wouldn't have access to it. If that's what I mean. Um, okay, so I'm going to show you how to, in case you have your own repo that you've been wanting to use to do, pull requests for Hacktoberfest. It's another option, especially if you don't quite feel comfortable contributing to somebody else's project. It's a great way to practice the same skills of, doing code in a separate way, pushing it, doing a pull request, accepting the pull request, and everything, and you get to control the whole process. So I'm going to show you how that works, and then we'll be able to cross off one of the issues on our list. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up my, this is the GitHub desktop. Yeah, GitHub desktop, making sure I'm saying the right names. So I'm going to create a new branch first. I like to do that under here. So you can create a new branch here. You can also do it on GitHub, but I'm going to do it on GitHub desktop. So you create a new branch, and then you're going to give it a name. I like, if I'm creating a branch specifically to fix an issue, I like to name the branch after the issue. So let me actually make sure I know what the name of the issue is. It's this one. So number 18, issue number 18. I'm going to call it fix issue 18. And then automatically tells you that it's going to be a new branch, which is what we want. New branch. Then we're going to have us create it. And then we actually have to publish this branch up to GitHub. Give it a second. Okay. And then if I refresh, I go back to our code, you can see now it says 3 branches. And if I click on my branches, I can see my fix issue 18 is here. And now we need to work on the code. So I need to move myself. Hold on. I'm going to just move this for a quick second. So it's very small, but down here at the bottom left corner of VS Code, this is where it tells you what branch you're on when you're working inside of a repo. Unfortunately, when I increase font size of different things in VS Code, it increases the font size of like the code on like over in this area where my camera is. It doesn't increase the font in the like the file edit, stuff around the edges here. So I can't make it larger for you. But it says down here, it has the little branch image, the same image as this one, has this exact same icon. And then it says fix issue 18. So it'll tell you what branch you're on, which is very important because we're about to make changes and we want to make sure those changes are on our branch. Like I said before, if this was a live website and I started making changes to the live website, people on the website would be like, what's going on? There's random things, popping in and out when I'm navigating around your site, and it would be really annoying. So always make sure if you're going to create a change, do it on a different branch. And this is really good practice if you don't have a live website, but you want to practice that same workflow that, you would do at a company as a real developer. You can do this with your own repos, with any project that you have on GitHub. So like I said, it says down here in the bottom left, it tells you what branch you're on. I'm sorry it's so small. I wish I could make it bigger. Let me move my face back. Actually, can I put myself over here? Let's do that. That way we can... Nope, not that one. Put that one back. Webcam play. Give me the over. Oh, is it locked? Aha, it was locked. That makes it a little difficult to move it. Okay, there we go. And even though it's super tiny, I know I'm small. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna call it out again when we change it back. So I want to make sure that we can still see it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop the server so that this now is turned off. So it's gonna kind of spin, and it's gonna be like, hey, there's nothing here because I turned it off. We need to get into our HTML, pull this down, and we need to find our events so that we can reduce the size of the events. There's the to-do section. Keep scrolling. Here's the events. Okay. Okay, and I believe it's this one. Event summary, event start. Okay. So I'm going to, now you can see it says, oh, this is another great way. And of course I'm blocking it again. Trying to figure out where to put myself. Let me try up here. Myself up here for a second. Okay. When you do switch branches, another much easier and larger place to see is right here. This used to say master because I was on the main branch, and now it says fix issue 18 because I'm on that branch. So that's another way to check. So I'm going to run python-m pip environment shell. Oh, so we're already in one. Okay, cool. Pip environment run python app.py. And that'll kick off our site again. So actually, I'm just going to close it. We'll just open it from here. Oh, okay. So it's back up. So one thing you can do is you can work in, the actual code and then refresh your page. Another thing that you can do, and I do this sometimes, especially with like CSS, is you can come in here and I can sit here and I can go, I change that to a 7. And there's 2 cards. It's probably that one. There it is. Keep digging down till I get to that column medium 8. I'm going to change that to 7 on this one too. Hit enter so the change takes. And now I'm going to close this and take a look. So that's still pretty wide. If I refresh, I can see what it was before. So it looks like it's about the same. So that didn't quite do the change that I wanted it to do. Let's try going up larger to here. So card MB3. Oh, that does that. You can see it bumped it down just a little bit. And that's not quite what we want either. If I refresh, it'll bring it back. So we want to, now it might be this upper column. Okay, that shortened it a whole bunch. Okay, that looks pretty small. So I changed the larger container to a column medium 3. I'm going to go ahead and change the second one just to see how they look. Should be this one, column dash MD dash 3. Enter. Okay. So those look a lot smaller. I think we could use a little more padding in between the two of them. Oops, sorry, not what I wanted. You can tell my brain is super tired. Okay, so these are our events, row and our column. Let's do a margin right, and let's do two rems. That didn't do any change. And sometimes there that did a change. 2 is what it already had. So let's do 5. Save. Okay, I think that looks a bit better. A little more spaced out. There's still a lot of empty space over here that could be fixed, but there's also, this is also pretty tight, so I feel like it could be scrunched in a little bit more. But overall, I think that's not too bad for a little fix to at least reduce the size of these cards, because they were really big for not a lot of information. So in our HTML, we can now come in here, and because it has this for loop of the Flask, we actually only have to do this change once, and it was 3. Is that what I did? I don't remember what I did. Perfect. Yes, 3. Okay. So I can save, and then when I refresh, which I'm going to do the Control-Shift-R, yes. Okay, now they're smaller. And the other change would be to go into our CSS, app.css, and let's come down, trying to figure out, those are our modal styles. So our to-dos, grocery, here are events. Let's look at what we got. So the events.card, if we do it on the card instead of on here, as max width, let's do margin right 5 rem. Oop, that does not do what we wanted it to do. Or does it? Sometimes you have to do it this way. So yeah, it does pop, but it also creates some weirdness inside. So I thought maybe we could do it there just because it's a little easier to find. Oh, am I dropping frames? Nope, I didn't drop frames. Give it just a second. Okay, hopefully I'm back. It doesn't show that I'm dropping any frames, but let me know if I'm breaking up for y'all. I'm going to add another class to where I did the change, because this is where we want the margin to go. And it'll be a lot easier in the CSS if I add a class here to make that change. So I'm going to call it card container. Sure, I hit save. And then over here in the app.css, I'm going to do it at the end of our event styles. Actually, I'm going to do it at after our box shadow. So I'm going to do hashtag events, and then I'm going to do dot card container. Hopefully that's what I just named that thing. It's been a day, I can't remember anything. Card container, cool. Oh, is it telling me it doesn't exist? Oh, it's just telling me not to use ng rule sets, which we're not, because we're going to add something right now. So margin dash right, make it 5 rem. And we can come back here, refresh. Oh, I forgot. I need to do the Control-Shift-R. There we go. Now we have our space in between. Okay, so we have our fixes of what we're going to call our fix for our, sorry, my brain just completely shut down, for that issue, for shortening the events cards. So I'm going to stop the website. You don't have to, but I'm just going to stop it because I'm going to switch off of this branch, this fix issue 18 branch. So I'm going to come over here to my GitHub desktop. You can see I'm still on this branch, and it has my changes right here. See what we changed. And I'm in the summary, I'm going to reference the issue that we fixed, which was issue 18. So reduced card size issue, and because it's GitHub desktop, it pops this up. So then you can do 18, and it automatically will connect it for you. So I need to commit my issues and push it up to my branch here, fix issue 18 on GitHub. It'll take a little second. And then automatically inside of GitHub Desktop, it'll ask you if you want to create a pull request. This will always be here once you create a branch. So you can create a pull request at any time. So I like to do it this way because then it's like, yes, that is exactly what I'm trying to do next. So it'll pull it up for you. It'll your commit issue will be the name of your pull request. It'll be the same. Then I can come in here and I can say I reduced the size of the event cards a bit and then added some space in between them with a margin. Right. And then labels, I'm going to add Hacktoberfest accepted. I would do this on my own project, or I do this for when everybody else gets theirs. So create pull request. You can see if I refresh, or no, that is refresh. So pull requests are now at 3. If I scroll down, it now says that that this branch has no conflicts. So that means we can merge it and it's not going to mess up anything in our main branch. So I just click merge pull request. And again, it'll do the same number. I want this issue 18 to stay, and I'll show you why in just a second. Hit confirm merge. And then successfully merged, and it automatically closes this pull request because it was successfully merged. And then I like to, because I'm done with this issue, that means I'm also done with this branch. I don't need it anymore. So then I can hit delete branch. Cool, and then that's all done. And I can come over here to issues, and I can go to issue 18. And if I scroll down, you can see that I added a commit that referenced this issue. I also merged a pull request that fixed this issue, and it says, you know, everything's all good. So now I can close the issue because this is fixed. And then close now. So because you're tagging it with the issue number, it automatically updates the issue as well when you're working around things in GitHub, which is super helpful to do. So always remember to tag it with your issue numbers. And your pull requests also get numbers. So there's a lot of tagging that you can do. But that one's all done. So that's the process you can go through to create. You can create an issue on your own repo, and then create a branch to fix that issue. Make sure that you switch over to that branch in your GitHub desktop. Now I need to switch back over to master. And I need to refresh because now there's changes, so I need to pull them down. And now my code base is updated. And you can see it clear. I'm back on master. So now I'm back on my master branch. So this is a great way to practice pull requests and creating branches and saving work to a branch. and all that jazz, which is very similar to what you would do as a real developer working on projects at at the company that you work with. So, like I said, an awesome way to practice using your own repos and what you have on GitHub right now. And I believe it still counts as part of Hacktoberfest as long as you tag your repo and different things with the label Hacktoberfest. So that's what I wanted to show you all today. Like I said, if you want to tackle some Hacktoberfest things, there's still some issues here with this repo. This is kind of like our playground, so please feel free to play around with it. It's not going to be, a real production app that people are paying for or anything. So if you break it, you break it. It's totally fine. Go in there, have fun, try things out. I want you to challenge yourself and try and take yourself a bit further. Push yourself. Try and reach a little bit higher. And feel free to do it on here. Ask me questions. I will answer as quickly as I can, which could be, up to, if I'm not too busy, it could be within a few minutes. It could be up to, a day or two if I'm having a busy weekend. But yeah. So home automation app. This is going to be our last live stream for this app for a little bit. We're going to take a little break from it. That way people have plenty of time to work on the open issues if you want to, without any pressure of it needing to be done by the end of this week. Next month, I'm going to be doing a live stream, and we're going to be talking about structuring your code. So I have a workshop out on Treehouse, and I just worked on shooting it with our live setup here. So it'll be updated with, beautiful images of my face talking to you. And it's just me talking to, especially, this will be great for anyone who's new to coding and you're starting to create your first projects. And just talking about how to structure the code inside of your files. There are a lot of things that new coders do that aren't necessarily mistakes, but they make your code look like a beginner. It's very easy when I look at someone's code and I see some of these mistakes in there, I know right away that this person is a new coder. And so I'm going to talk about some of the things that I see, how to fix them, how to, kind of keep in mind while you're coding so that you don't create these mistakes. And they're just, they're kind of general preferences that developers have. Because they're not really mistakes in the sense that your code's not working. It's more coding, the way code should look, standards kind of thing. So the things I'm going to be talking about are narrative coding, which is having your code read kind of like a story so that it's really easy to follow. We're going to talk about iterative coding, which is a great way to, especially for beginners, to practice coding a little bit and then testing a little bit and then coding and testing and so on and so forth. Because it's really, really easy to get excited about something and end up getting through, a whole bunch of code, and then you go to test it and you realize somewhere in that code you made a mistake, and trying to find it can be really annoying. So testing often is a great way to get into the habit of making sure that everything's working as you go. Then we're also going to talk about KISS, which is the acronym Keep It Simple, Silly, and DRY, which is the acronym for Don't Repeat Yourself. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to have some simple examples to go through and kind of explain what those concepts are, what they look like, and all that jazz. And we're going to do that in next month's live stream. So I hope to see y'all there. That's all we have for today. So I hope you all are staying safe, staying warm if it's cold where you are, like it is for me. And I'll see you all next month. Have a great one, everyone. Bye.